Tzu Chi volunteers provide aid to residents affected by fires in the Philippines. We learn about the obstacles and suffering that many illegal foreign laborers encounter in Taiwan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In the Philippines, fires recently broke out in San Mateo Rizal province and also in Novota City. Many residents in San Mateo were saddened by the incident, not only because their property was damaged by the fire, but also because they couldn't attend the Buddha Day ceremony. Learning of their conditions, Tzu Chi volunteers visited fire victims in both cities, bringing them supplies and care.
People look forward to the Buddha Day ceremony, but a fire broke out on the same day of the ceremony, burning down 57 houses in San Mateo Rizal province.
Every year, we always prepare ourselves for the Buddha Day ceremony, but we can't go this year, no matter how much we want to. We should salvage our home first.
If my uniform is still intact, I still want to go to the ceremony.
I'm sad because I can't attend the Buddha Day ceremony, but it's fortunate that some volunteers can fill the gaps for us.
Despite the incident, the fire victims are still concerned about the Buddha Day ceremony. Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with blankets, rice, and some supplies to solve their needs and to ease their minds. Just days before the Buddha Day ceremony, a fire broke out and burned houses of 71 families in Novota City. Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with relief supplies to solve the needs of the fire victims.
Tzu Chi has given us many goods, and these are what we really need, because when the fire happened, we couldn't bring anything with us.
The fire victims are thankful to Tzu Chi's help. They don't have much money, but they still donate coins because they also want to help other people.
In Japan's Kumamoto Prefecture, on April 14th, a 6.5 magnitude earthquake occurred. Then in the early morning of April 16th, a second quake struck again. The second quake caused damage to the walls of Kumamoto Castle and caused the complete collapse of the nearby Aso Shrine. Now Kumamoto is considering restoration plans, which may take up to 20 years to complete. Kumamoto Castle is also known by the name Ginnan Castle, which refers to the large ginkgo tree growing outside. Along with Nagoya Castle and Himeji Castle, Kumamoto Castle is one of the 3 grand castles of Japan, and among them, it is most famous for its stone wall barricades.
The outer stone barricades were especially long and tall. They were built to resist foreign invasion due to Kumamoto's position. That's why this castle is one of Japan's 3 grand castles.
After the recent earthquake, Kumamoto Castle, which is over 400 years old, is now cordoned off, and tourists are no longer allowed to enter. As you can see, the walls behind me have all suffered damage. The Kumamoto Castle historical area contains 13 different structures, which are all invaluable pieces of history. Due to the earthquakes, they all suffered damage. Considering the costs and techniques required, officials say it may take up to 20 years to complete restorations.
To maintain the original appearance of the structure, we only allow traditional construction techniques to be used. Also, for now, the aftershocks haven't stopped, so we won't begin stacking stones until they do. Honestly, we're not even fully aware of how extensive the damage is. For a complete restoration, it may take 10 or even 20 years.
To better understand the extent of the quake's damage, we accompany local residents to nearby Minamiyaso village. What would normally be a 90-minute car ride turns into a much longer ride through the mountains because Aso Bridge was also collapsed in the recent earthquake. When we finally arrive in Minamiaso, we see these older wooden structures weren't able to withstand the large quake. Rickety wooden buildings and tiles are scattered like paper along the path, as locals accompany us to the site where the Aso Shrine once stood.
People born in Minamiaso really cherish this shrine. It's a great place that everyone was very proud of. After it collapsed in the quake, everyone has been in very low spirits. It feels like something is missing, and it's quite hard to bear. Every New Year, people would bring their families here, and children would be playing. People came here to pray for blessings and celebrate important occasions. Whether someone was happy or sad, they could come here to pray.
With a history of over 1,000 years, the Aso Shrine is a priceless cultural site for celebration, prayer, and a place for the locals to commune with the gods. The collapse of the old structure has come as a great tragedy to the residents here.
From here you can see the gate and the prayer chamber. The two structures totally collapsed. Behind those, there are 3 more structures where the god resides. Among them, one is severely damaged, and the other 2 have collapsed.
After such a historical disaster, the challenge of rebuilding will not be easy, but the Japanese here in Kumamoto and Minamiaso will remain strong in their faith as these heritage sites are restored.
In Quanzhou, Fujian, China, Tzu Chi volunteers have been providing financial aid for students in need. On Mother's Day, the scholarship recipients were invited to attend an event at the local Tzu Chi office, which emphasized filial piety.
On Mother's Day, Tzu Chi volunteers of Quanzhou, Fujian province held an event to promote filial piety. A cup of hot tea relayed the boundless gratitude that the children had for their parents.
The master has mentioned that using our healthy bodies to contribute back to society is the best way to repay our parents.
I hope my students will be grateful and cherish the support provided by Tzu Chi. They must use their own actions to contribute back to society.
The volunteers used sign language and a stage performance to emphasize the greatness of family love. The sons and daughters present all gathered their courage to loudly express their love for their parents.
Today is Mother's Day, but my mother is absent because of work. So I wish to wish her a happy Mother's Day here in hopes that she can feel the love and blessings I have for her.
I want to tell my mom that I know it has been hard on you. Regardless of the situation, you have always been my strongest supporter. I'll love you forever.
Even with different backgrounds, the love between a parent and child stays the same. The volunteers' thoughtfulness has allowed this Mother's Day event to be more meaningful for both parent and child.
Since the establishment of Tzu Chi, Master Zheng Yan has insisted that her monastic followers must abide by the principle, a day without work is a day without meals. Although Tzu Chi has become the largest charity organization in Taiwan, those living at the Jingsi abode still work diligently to support their own living. In today's Tzu Chi's 50th anniversary series report, we'll take a look at how this legacy has inspired Tzu Chi volunteers to lead a frugal and diligent life.
这个是围巾呐，对呀，是希望爱有啦，咱有上人的理念啦，不是讲爱钱的问题，咱就是上人。
She is not just selling items, but promoting a concept.
没有，你看很多标签哦，很多东西都不用买。
This is not a profit-oriented shop, but a Tzu Chi secondhand store that seeks to extend the use of these goods. Many discarded items become valuable again at this shop.
buy it here for $1.5 US or $3 US. We cherish our resources. We should live frugally.
像我这个是自己做的啊，这爆头爆尾。
I made this vase myself. It did not cost me money. I also made this pair of pants. This is about $2. These clothes sold for $1.5 at the Tzu Chi shop. It rained today, so I am wearing rain boots. I have been wearing this for more than 10 years and it costs $5.
雨鞋哦，这雨鞋100元就可以穿好几年，已经算10几年了哦。
The most expensive item on Lin Liao Meisha are the shoes that cost $5 US. She lessened her desire for material gratification and cherishes resources. She has been wearing this jacket she made for 20 years. The shoes have been worn for 15 years, and so has the scarf.
就是爱俭啦，每一项拢爱俭啦。
We should be frugal. I think the master's teachings are wonderful.
Cherishing resources and living frugally is a principle promoted by Master Zheng Yan. Since the establishment of the Tzu Chi Foundation, the master insists that the monastics will abide by the principle: a day without work is a day without meals. Even till this day, the Jingsa abode is still self-sustaining.
所以有很多人问我说：“你偷偷喊你艰苦啊，吃啊，无。”
Many people ask me, during the early days, you did not eat well and face hard living conditions. You also did heavy manual labor, such as cultivating the field. In addition, you were in debt. Did you think about giving up? I said no. I think it is my blessing to renounce my lay life and follow in the footsteps of Master Zheng Yan. I was tired physically, but I felt very happy.
也是好因缘啊，也是福报。身体是很辛苦，没有错，但是内心是很高兴。
坚持呢，在迄段时间哦，生活顶呢，无负担，毋过真善，真善呢，但是呢，心嘛，无什么款的负担吼。
At the Jingsa abode, the Dharma masters may have to do different kinds of manual labor. They have done at least 30 different kinds of work. They have set up the legacy of leading a frugal and diligent life and being self-sustaining. Despite their harsh living conditions, they save up to help the impoverished people.
菌丝就靠这个菌丝产生养分，分解之后厨余就不会有臭味。
The monastics at the Jingsa abode have to provide meals for up to 100 people each day. They also make good use of the kitchen waste.
肥料的话，我们就是自己私生的。
We add black sugar water to the fruit peels and turn them into organic enzyme. We do it in an organic way.
有机力用自然的方式来提供给它养分。
Dharma masters toil diligently in the fields growing produce. Then they also recycle and reuse the kitchen waste. They persevere in supporting themselves with manual labor.
早上我们知道3点50就要起床。
We get up at 3:50 a.m. After morning citation and breakfast, we go to our work areas. When we started making multigrain powder, we worked till sometime past 9 p.m. So we work for more than 10 hours each day.
对，所以等一天是10几个小时的工作。
Although Tzu Chi has become the largest charity organization in Taiwan, people at the Jingsa abode still work to support their own living.
点静下来生活，我那是赶快以自力更生，到现在还是同样没有变。对我的人是真辛苦，每天3点外起来就到营南的，每一个人呢，所有的力量都是投注在我们的生活。
The legacy established by the Jingsa abode has made an impact on Tzu Chi volunteers. Lin Liao Meisha is an example. For 50 years, this legacy has been passed on to the younger generation, leading them to continue moving forward on the correct path in life.
Next, we meet Li Li珠, head nurse at outpatient services of the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. She's in charge of supervising over 100 nurses in a hospital who serve more than 3,000 patients. The patients will often complain to the nurses if they wait too long to see the doctors. Let's see how she helps the nurses face these problems.
Every morning, Li Li珠would give reminders to the nurses before everyone goes to work. When she started working 26 years ago, she was often warned that her bad temper was inappropriate for this work. This led her to reflect on her problem and later discovered the joy from her job. As a head nurse, she is in the position to pass on her experience to young nurses.
他觉得他自己不适合，所以我才会有很大的心。
I feel that as a frontline manager, I must help nurses overcome problems in the first few years of work. This is better than me being alone and looking after patients.
Lili Zhu always cares about her nurses. She always wears a smile when she reminds the nurses about what to watch out for. When patients complain to her about waiting too long, she is always able to solve the problem.
那你透过这个接触，你
I will listen to their complaints and tell them that next time they come to see the doctor and they feel bored, they can come to my office as my light is always on. And I'll serve them tea and chat with them. When it's their turn, they can then see the doctor.
When Miss Ho accompanied her husband to the hospital to see the doctor, she worried he would become agitated because he is in a wheelchair and waited too long. Now, Miss Ho and Lili Zhu are good friends.
那有人这样子，
She cares about me and I'll share my concerns with her. I can't describe in words how grateful I am.
Lili Zhu is like the nurse's mother and also a friend. If a patient makes any complaint about a nurse, she will listen to the nurse's explanation first.
他很为我们想啊，会从我们的出发点去想，然后帮我们争取到很多事情。
他很保护我们。对，
还蛮保护我们的。
对。
Lili Zhu guides these nurses by being understanding, so there are fewer nurses quitting, and more patients are satisfied with the performance of these nurses. This is the only motivation Lili Zhu needs to continue her work.
At present, there are more than 590,000 foreign laborers working primarily in manufacturing or as long-term caregivers in Taiwan. However, some 160,000 foreign laborers have left their employers, thus becoming illegal workers. In our next report, we learn more about the pain and suffering that many of these illegal foreign laborers encounter.
The boss was quite bad to us, as I was forced to take care of many elderly people who were sick, and I was only given 1 day off a month.
Ju was asked to take care of 12 elderly people suffering from chronic illness, and she never got enough sleep or food.
Foreign caregivers are not covered by the Labor Standard Act, so their salary can be below $500.
Ju is forced to work 4 hours of overtime every day without getting paid for it.
Our employer worried that we would run away, so he also kept $1,000 of our salary as an illegal deposit.
Employers keep a portion of foreign laborers' salary, and secondly, agents illegally hold foreign laborers' passport and deduct a portion of their salary as a deposit.
Foreign laborers are expected to do more work and get paid less than expected, and yet some like Ju don't dare to complain.
Many do not get along with their employers, and many foreign laborers worry their employers will send them home.
After suffering unfair treatment with her original employer, who was unwilling to release her from her contract, Ju wasn't able to legally apply for the opportunity to work for a different employer.
If both employers do not agree, then foreign laborers face the threat of being deported. This is very unfair to foreign workers.
When the foreign laborers wish to switch employers, they are at the mercy of their original employers as well as labor agents.
At one point, Ju simply couldn't stand it another day.
My work was so difficult every single day. I had become so tired.
Escaping from her original employer, Ju must now take on the additional burden of becoming an illegal foreign worker.
Going to a new place as an illegal laborer makes them subject to control by their new employers, and they may even earn less than a month's worth of wages, even though they work for a full month.
When making noodles, my hand went to the machine stretching noodles, and it was cut off.
She would spend the next 3 days in the hospital before being discharged. However, the loss of her left hand would lead her to become a burden for her illegal employer.
My illegal employer called the police to catch me and send me back to Vietnam. Nothing happened to him, and he didn't pay me any compensation damages. He just wanted to get rid of me.
After becoming an illegal worker, they don't dare to sue their employer because they themselves are illegal. So their situation is even more vulnerable to exploitation.
While foreign caregivers like Aju may face long hours and overwork, some foreign workers also face abuse.
One conflict may be associated with language differences as they are frequently being scolded, which can lead to discrimination.
Many foreign laborers may be unhappy with unreasonable employers who don't allow them to earn enough money and therefore ran away from their employers.
The day when we were off, I met my friends at a Vietnamese restaurant to eat, and they got into a fight. The next day when I went to work, my boss told me I couldn't work there.
We can provide more education to foreign laborers or provide them with more social support to assist them.
Song has been employed twice and unemployed twice. However, he can't afford to pay the agent fee the third time, so he left and is now deemed to be an illegal foreign worker by the Taiwan government.
Our main objective is not tracking down illegal foreign laborers, but the people behind them, or those who illegally employ them. This is where we need to strengthen our focus, as we need to go after the source and enact better controls.
The many issues facing foreign laborers in Taiwan include repatriation, as well as enforcement of labor laws to ensure reasonable working conditions. This could become a foundation for foreign laborers and employers to build mutual trust, potentially preventing them from leaving their employers or continuing to feed the current vicious cycle.
Even after retirement, a group of principals in Taiwan are still dedicated to providing education. They initiated a fundraising drive by having every person save $10 NT a day over a 4-month cycle. At the end of every cycle, they would donate the money collected to rural school for them to purchase reading materials in an effort to provide more resources to children in the countryside.
With 10 NT, we can purchase a snack or a canned drink. However, a group of retired principals decided to save the coins and contribute it to the village's education.
Putting the children's education first, we save $10 NT daily and hope that the organizations and schools which we sponsor can be inspired to participate in paying forward our love. We hope the students in each class can start their own savings and help others who are also in need.
Unity is strength. With 30 principals participating in fundraising, the amount collected was over $1,200. This amount allowed the purchase of more than 100 reading materials for students of Ruiting Elementary in New Taipei City, providing them with more education resources.
I like to read books in school because I can learn a lot of knowledge. The books given to us by the principals allow our school to have more books. There were not many books in our school's library before.
应该看不完。
大概你觉得多久会变成多久会去借一次
？2-3天吧。
This group of retired principals not only provided financial support, but also hosts storytelling events in rural schools to help students develop a love for reading. They hope to cultivate a good studying environment through everyone's efforts and continue sending love to all corners of Taiwan in the future.
The Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter is holding an exhibition showcasing Tzu Chi's work in the past 50 years at the Pantaida Kapuk Tzu Chi grounds. Through photographs as well as English and Chinese explanations, the organizers hope to help the public better understand Tzu Chi's activities in Indonesia and other parts of the world. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.